So who else would have a question that they would like some facilitation?
Okay, me. As long as you don't bark.
Okay.
I won't.
Well, no, what I've noticed is that since I've started working with you, and I've also, at the same time, I'm
Working with me as...
working with you as your phantasmic host coordinator.
Yes.
Okay. Which I just adore that thing. So it's like planning parties, helping people plan parties, you know? So, and along with that, I'm also going to be, hosting yourself and a 3-day body facilitator and Dane coming up. And what I've noticed is that actually with all of this and choosing so much more to assist with others, I actually have this inspiration within me that's like, well, what about me now? And so I had the awareness of wanting to create like coaching packages or, getting myself more out there. And I'm like, oh, well, if I coach, I'll create a package for $500 for, well, I don't know how many sessions. And, well, who's going to pay $500? And
yeah.
So, yeah, right? You're amazing. Sometimes we're the last ones to know,
You didn't get the memo?
No.
So, Truth, who are you being?
Oh, wow. I want to say like everybody, like most people.
Yeah. This reality.
Yeah.
This reality will use anything to stop them from choosing greater.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like creating avoidance is still creating. I think I've been playing with that lately.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the same thing as creating for everybody else really is creating the avoidance of my own business.
Right.
Well, and can it be done together? Like, does it have to be an either or?
Right.
Right.
I'm getting it to be an invitation for me. I can certainly see where I've used it as an avoidance, but I'm also getting where this is creating and getting me out of my comfort zones of things that I wouldn't have chose just for me, but in choosing it for the people I'm hosting and my, phantasmic host coordinator position, I'm like, oh, I can do this for me also.
Yeah.
So there's still this, it almost feels like it's still like a doubt or like a worthiness thing.
Right.
I can do it for others, I can see others do it, and then I start to compare myself maybe to someone like yourself or someone that I perceive knows more in a certain subject than I do.
Right. Yeah, well, you definitely can't do it, so. Show's over, guys. So what is all of that?
Oh,
And
wow.
if you weren't doing that,
Wow.
what could you choose? What could you create?
I would just create it.
Yeah.
I would just create it. I would just follow the energy. I would ask questions. I would not allow to. Well, I would. If I caught myself in that energy, I would ask. So truth, is this mine? And I'm also very aware now that as I was sharing it, it was heavy. So I know that that's not true for me.
Yeah.
And
But if you didn't do that part,
yeah.
what would change in your life? Like if you didn't do kind of the doubt and the dissecting and the playing with it,
Right.
what would change in your entire life?
Wow.
I think we're all up to lunch now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess I would just
That
choose
question
it.
just put us all asleep.
So everything that is,
Yeah.
whatever that is,
Yeah.
you're just starting to create all kinds of good
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Wow.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, short stories and beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because so truth, do you do that in every area of your life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that the energy that you've either picked up that others have projected on you or picked up that others do to themselves
Yeah.
so you do it to yourself?
Yes. Yeah. You know what it is I'm aware that I'm actually going to make people really, 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 are we allowed to swear?
Can she?
I don't know. Fucking.
They say yes.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're good with it.
It's like, yeah. I get that I'm really going to make people fucking uncomfortable. And, am I willing to create beyond that?
And truth, are you willing to acknowledge the contribution it is to create possibilities that people can choose to then feel uncomfortable about.
Okay.
You're on the heels
Like
of that one.
what? Yeah, I'm like, what did you just say?
Well, so everything that doesn't allow that,
Yeah.
we're starting to create it.
Yeah.
Yes, good battle, knife, pop, shorts, boys, mounts. Because let's look at that.
Yeah.
You know, so she's like, okay, I'm aware that people will feel really uncomfortable. Let's acknowledge that's a choice they make.
Right.
If you choose what works for you, and they choose what works for them, which might be feeling uncomfortable,
Yeah.
Wow.
who are we to say that's wrong?
Wow.
Who are we to say they should feel any different? Who are we to say that that's not kind or kind or whatever? If we just choose for us based on what works for us and what's going to create greater on the planet, let other people choose what they're going to choose. Otherwise, we have to jump into their universe, check out how they're going to respond,
Yeah.
jump back
Yes.
into our universe,
Yeah.
respond so they don't respond like that. Christ, you know, it's amazing we don't need a 4-hour nap every day.
I'm actually really skinny all the jumping I'm doing. Like seriously. I don't know what's up.
And how much of a superior bitch is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
much do we go into that role of superiority,
Right.
jumping in, saying, okay, well, they're going to act like that, so I don't want that, so I'll make them do this so that they don't do that. It's like, oh my God, how unkind is that to
Yeah.
that person?
And I'm also getting how unkind that is to me.
Yes.
Like how incredibly unkind that is to me, that I'm not honoring of me.
Yeah.
And honoring the likeness that I'm creating in my world
Yes.
and running with it.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, using the stop energy, jumping into their universe, trying to play, you know, and then coming back and the whole thing. It's like, wow. It would truly be limitless.
Anything that doesn't allow that. That's just
Yeah.
starting and create all that times a good
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, wrong, good, battle, line, put, pop, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because yeah, without that, without all of that in front of you, what could you create?
Wow.
Yeah.
I've made them so much bigger than me.
Yeah.
I've made everyone else, you know, under, you know, hiding it as superiority, you know, just whatever, or being a martyr, or whatever those words are. It was just, yeah, wherever that came from, it's just, I've so made everyone else bigger than me. Or I've actually chosen to make myself smaller,
Yeah.
is really what it is. Yeah.
And a lot of times, the potency that we be as a child, that actually is something we choose because it actually does help us in those times. So I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but a lot of times we learn that as a child because we are told we're too much. So we start shutting down so that people can handle it and people can be okay. And maybe mom would smile if we were you know, just a little bit less, or maybe, you know,
Absolutely.
all of that sort of stuff. And all of those are just lies that we buy. And then we don't ever stop doing it.
Right.
We take that on as that's the way we're supposed to be in this reality. And yeah, that's what this reality asks of us. And is it kind to us?
No.
No. And then if it's not kind to us, is it actually kind to the planet?
No.
No.
Right.
Because then we're being so much less than what's actually possible for us, which means we're creating so much less than actually what's possible for us, which means then planet Earth is creating so much less than what's possible. Because we are a contribution, it's oneness. So everything that brings up, we guys just trying to create all
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, wrong, good, battle, line, cut, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So truth, when you get the energy of starting to create packages and that sort of stuff, what comes up for you now?
It feels like a non-issue.
Yeah.
You know, can I go now?
You got things to create.
I got things to go
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
And let's even look at it just for a moment, just because we touched on it briefly, but you know, when we are creating with other people and not separating, and I did this for years because I wouldn't host anybody, I wouldn't do anything except my business, because why would I do any of that
Right.
when I've got this? And then I took a telecall with Simone and Jonas last year, and it really opened my eyes to actually, we can do and be it all. And it's not a separation. Who you are in your business
Mhm.
doesn't change to who you are as the host coordinator in my business.
Right.
Who, you gals as the creative geniuses in my business doesn't change to when you go home to your families. It doesn't change to when you're sitting doing up your own projects.
Right.
We're all,
I kind of look at it as, like when we have children, you have one child, you think, oh my God, I could never love anything so much more. And then you have another, and you're like, oh my God, I have this much love. And then you have another, and you're like, wow. So that's how I keep looking at it, is I can have it all because I have the room for it all.
yeah. And then it is to be aware, like you said, Maureen, is it sometimes where people are doing it to distract themselves from creating in their business. Then you do definitely
Right.
want to be aware of that. Because then that's probably not going to work long term. And what I see people do a lot of times in those situations is they'll end that, so let's say they are working in somebody else's business, they're not allowing themselves to be aware that they'd also like to be creating more in theirs,
Right.
so that they end up creating some trauma over here to get fired or to walk out or something.
Right.
Instead of if we just allow ourselves to have the awareness, and we do that in every area, but this is just a good example because we're talking about it, but if we allow ourselves to have the awareness when something isn't working for us, we can then choose to change it without the trauma. Going, wow, okay, something's not feeling right to me today when I'm working on this. What is this? I mean, the 4 questions. What is this?
Yeah.
What can I do with it? Can it be changed? If so, how do I change it? So that we're constantly in question of that. So we're not ignoring the little niggles. We're not ignoring the little whispers that are saying this doesn't feel right, or the I'm so bored I could rip my eyes out energy that we often think that's the way it has to be with work. And it doesn't. I think, if you're doing something and you want to rip your eyes out, hire somebody who likes to do that. It saves the eyes.
Life just becomes easy. Here you go. That's funny. I had judgment this week of, well, good for you that you love what you do. It doesn't feel like work. Not everybody gets that. And I'm like, everybody could choose it.
Oh, so somebody said that to you. Oh.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, and really when we look at that, I mean, there would have been probably 15 years ago I'd have said the same thing.
Yes.
Whereas if we're not willing to choose that, we're not willing to take the action to do something that makes us smile and that we love to get up to do, we're going to judge the people who do.
Yes.
Until we're willing to change that. And then usually it's like, well, I sure wish I could do that. How do you do that? Right? Then it becomes the question, because the person is at least willing to move in that direction or wonder what they might be able to do that they could love.
Well, and it's usually from looking at the outside. You're looking at other people and what they've got, what they have, and then it's like, okay, well, I would like some of that.
Yes. Yeah, it's like that energy that they be when they're having that, all of them, that we get so enticed by. And that becomes the invitation. So it doesn't surprise me that you working with a lot of us now going, okay, this is the energy that I know I be.
Right.
Always known I be it.
Yeah.
And look at how they do it. It's quite easy.
Right. And how incredible the support system is too. It's just a matter of posting to Facebook or sending an email or something like that. Yeah. And I just had this awareness of that I would choose to be, like, the classes were such, classes for me were such an invitation to sort of find me. And I just realized now that I've not been willing to be that invitation outside of classes. Like, just to be that invitation outside of classes. Take that, just be that invitation in my relationship with my kids, at the grocery store,
That reminds me of a story that happened this week. I shared with you too. I pulled up to my niece and nephew's school in my new Jeep, and this guy came over, and in a breathy tone, he just looks over at the Jeep and he looks at me and he says, "How are you?" I said, "Good, how are you?" "I love your rims and tires." I said, "So do I." I said, "They create so much fun for me." He's like, "I know, I watch you drive in every day." That to me was like, I see the invitation. I was like, wow. I said to my sister, "You're single, you should drive my Jeep more."
Wow. And that's really neat, because that just, you know, it also reminds me of the invitation that the clothes we wear, the vehicles we drive, like it's not even just also about us, but this, you know, this scarf to put on today made me feel pretty, and I still feel pretty, and that creates more for me, and the rims and tires. And
it was just fun to drive.
Yeah.
And it's inviting him to find something fun to do.
Yeah. That is so cool.
A question I absolutely love to ask, and it could be at the grocery store or before the radio show or anywhere, it's like, what energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be to be the invitation we truly be?
Yeah.
So anything that does and a lot of that. You guys just trying to create
Yes.
Yeah. Shirts, boys and beyond.
He's like just sliding it to easy street. I'm just lolling.
Sliding into easy street. I like it.